Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
All right, we're up. What's up, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joe.
You have had a lot of experiences since the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen.
That's why, I always about writing my book, and chapter keep adding up. And yes, every time you feel like you're just maybe in the beginning or in the middle.
Yeah, I don't think so. You're definitely only in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle.
Somewhere, I mean, it's not the beginning, but it's a lot of experiences. So tell me about leading up to the Tyson Fury fight.
Oh, the Tyson Fury fight, that was great. I was just there living a dream. Get this big moment, get that fight that I've been waiting for 4 years.
The fight that everybody said you were never going to get.
Yes.
Which is crazy. Like, thank God for the Saudis, because they are making things happen, which is really incredible. Incredible.
And it's not like, who is this, who is that? It's like, okay, we want it to happen, then make it happen.
Yeah, because everybody wanted to see it happen, but it was one of those things where everybody dismissed it. Everybody said, that's not going to happen. Tyson Fury's the heavyweight champion. Why would he fight a guy who doesn't have any professional boxing matches? That's crazy. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened. And then everybody said, you didn't stand a chance. And then when you knocked him down in the second round, everybody was like, holy shit. And when you were dancing over him when he went down?
Yeah. But, I think a lot of people do mistake something, and I always tell people, like, not because you're a fighter that you walk in the bar and there is this guy coming to you, maybe this fat guy coming to you, and then you stand there, and because you're a fighter, don't think like he's a threat. Everybody could be a threat. You better take 2 steps back and then see your distance and get ready to defend yourself. You don't, if anybody hits you, you're going to get hurt.
Right. True.
So, yes, I might not have been doing boxing. I'm not a boxer, but still, I'm a fighter. And even if I wasn't a fighter, I can hurt and I can harm somebody.
You're a big motherfucker.
I'm a big guy. So I was watching it, and people was like, no, he stands no chance. He has 0 chance. I'm like, there is not a fight on earth that 0 chance. That element of 0 chance doesn't exist. I mean, if you look at it, I'm a man, guy, and then 2 men together, someone might have more techniques, might know the sport, but even if I never been in the gym, you still better watch out. I still have a chance.
Yes.
Maybe not as much, maybe not equal chance, but I still do have a chance.
But you can't dismiss someone like you and drop your guard and think that you don't have any chance.
You shouldn't dismiss anybody.
No.
We used to be in the... I have seen fight that people show up and then they pretend like, oh, they're going to fight. They have stone in their hand. And if you dismiss them because you think like, oh, he's a small guy, he hits you with the stone in his hand.
Right.
Boy, by the time you find out that he has stone in the hand, you are in the ground.
Right, exactly. But it was very clear to me that you had some interesting strategies when you went into that fight. First of all, you're fighting a lot of it in southpaw. Why did you decide to do that? Was that something that you guys had devised before the fight? You thought it would be an interesting strategy? Or is that just like the way you like to box?
I like to box like that, but I also thought it was a strategy. That he would be a good strategy as well, because basically on the Tyson Fury fight, I think the southpaw was a big component in that fight, because every time that I realized every time that I switched to southpaw, he was thinking. But when I switched back to orthodox, he was pressing. So when I want to take a break, I switched to southpaw a little bit.
What was it like there's obviously you've had many MMA fights. You've been very successful, UFC heavyweight champion as an MMA fighter. But what was the difference in the feel of going into a professional boxing fight with a guy like Tyson Fury, who is the heavyweight champion of the world and one of the greatest of all time? I mean, he's absolutely one of the greatest heavyweight boxers ever.
Yeah. But he was completely different. You know, the environment is different. The organization is different. It's different to be step in the ring for the first time. Okay, you have all this spotlight on you, but you're in the ring. Feels different. Sometimes you're in the cage, you're used to the cage, you lean on that cage, you have that feeling, you grab the cage.
Also, you
all
have
those
shoes
stuff.
on.
Yes, and then in the cage, you know that you can do more. You can wrestle, you can do this, and you're comfortable with that. But you're in the ring for the very first time, somewhere that you've never been. It feels different, and then you're thinking like, oh man, how am I going to do? Am I going to be able to do 3 rounds? Am I going to be able to do 4 rounds? I don't know. I'm going to find out just now. There's not a way back. You're
That's
going to
crazy.
find out. So by every round, you have to think about like, okay, how am I doing? This is the first round, then second round. Okay, so this is the 5th round. I'm not too bad, so I think I'm going to get there. You know, just go like that.
So you're
round
concerned
after
about
round.
endurance?
Yes, you're
Yeah.
very concerned about endurance. It was 10 rounds, and I didn't know how I'm going to be feeling after the 3rd round.
You turned it on the 8th round. In the 8th round, you hit him with some big shots.
Yeah.
That was one of your best rounds.
Yeah, the 8th round was pretty good. Then I then I pull my feet off the gas on the 9th round. And then the 10 rounds, I'm like, oh, I feel good. This is the last round, right? Feel good. That's when I started to do like the Superman punch or the stuff. For me, he was already a win.
He shocked the world, that's for sure. Yeah. Did you have any mock fights in the gym? Like, did you bring in any professional boxers and have, like, try to go 8-10 rounds in the gym?
Sparring.
Yeah. But, like, with no headgear, like, smaller gloves. Did you do anything like that replicated an actual professional boxing match?
No. We just do, like, a normal sparring. Have different sparring partner sometimes to push me, but we didn't do anything like that. You know, as an MMA fighter, we used to spar without gloves, without headgear and stuff, but you get into boxing, everything is so strict, so specific. And then you get to the point that you kind of like ask yourself, like, why taking a chance to hurt now and get pull up of the fight?
Right.
You know, I'm just going to train. I train the best that I could, that I can. Then I will get there, figure out what's happened.
And so, but from the time the negotiations started to the time of the fight, how much time did you have to prepare for this?
For the negotiation?
No, so you had the negotiations, and then once it was signed, how much time did you have to prepare for the actual fight itself? And how much were you preparing already, hoping you were going to have a boxing match?
Yeah, but it's different to like think that, oh, I might have a boxing match. I want to have a boxing match than when you have a boxing match and knowing who you are going to fight is something different. You know, you prepare, the real preparation start now. And between the moment that we signed the fight to the fight itself, it was over 3 months because I know that it wasn't my field. You know, and I didn't have any, and it's not like I was in the gym training boxing every day. So it was basically 4 months. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, I took a moment for a pre-camp. I came back here because I was in Cameroon at time. Then I came back here. My team and I, we work on like everything. Start like a pre-camp, you know, just train to get in shape, start like sparring, and then we started the sparring with 3 rounds.
Wow.
The first sparring was like 3 rounds, move around, see. Then we started go walk round after round, you know.
What I thought when I saw the fight is, imagine if you had just gone into professional boxing like 10 years ago, how well you would do. If you no MMA, no kicking, no wrestling, just professional boxing. For you to do that well against a guy like Tyson Fury, who's that good.
I don't really know, and those are the stuff that I don't usually think about. I think life sometimes just had a path for you. You follow the path that the destiny that life has for you, and you just be grateful because regardless of the fact that I didn't start 10 years earlier. I didn't have that opportunity 10 years earlier. Meanwhile, I had to discover MMA and have a great journey in MMA, have a great experience in MMA, you know. So it's something that I will not regret that. I will not beat that up over an opportunity of starting boxing early. Things just happened. I took my chance. I do what I can do. It's all about like figure out how far I can go, what I can possibly do, you know. So I'm not a 18 years, 20 years old guy that are dreaming to have a career into this, but I still want to know what I can possibly do at this point of my life.
Yeah. What was the experience like when it was all over? Like, what did it feel like when you just went 10 rounds and a lot of people, including myself, thought you won?
Yeah. Oh, I feel very great. You know, like, regardless of the result, for me, knowing what I was going through, what was in my mind, like what's going to happen into this fight. First round, second round, then I get in the 10th round. Good. And I feel like I wasn't doing bad. So for me, that was a win. That was a satisfaction, you know.
Right.
The result was other part of it, which didn't matter most. But I knew already that if ever he get, because I couldn't guarantee that we would get in the 10th round, but if ever we get there, I wasn't expecting to win.
When you dropped him,
definitely not.
When you dropped him in the second round, I jumped off the couch.
Yeah.
I jumped in the air.
I would say something, you know, like I won this from the moment that they accepted the fight, that they signed the fight. Because I think I was very underestimated. You know, they didn't know that I could have do something. You know, if they have known that beforehand, maybe this fight would have never happened. Because they would have seen a risk, and they wouldn't want to take that risk. So this was basically like zero risk.
And it probably would have been different too, because there was no footage to prepare for you, right? Like the only footage that he could prepare was watching you fight in MMA.
Yes, he was.
There it is. Why are you dancing in front of him?
When we started fight, when the referee say, "Okay, you guys go to your corner," he said, "Let me take you to school." So that was, the dancing was like, I think you're a bad professor, you're a bad teacher. That was the only reason why I did that.
He's a funny guy, man.
He's funny. He's very entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, he's so entertaining. Like, he's so entertaining.
He's just a show guy.
Yeah.
That's happened to really like being very talented in boxing, good at it, but he's an entertainer.
Oh, I mean, he's the way he sells it. I mean, even the way he like was playing with his fat, like standing next to you, like rubbing his belly.
Like sometimes he will insult you. I don't know if he's insulting you or if he's making fun, but it's just funny that you have to laugh. You really have nothing to say.
He kept talking about how big your dick must be.
Yeah.
He was just. He's a funny dude, man. He's a funny dude.
He said that since the first he started said those things the first time we met, and he will put some stuff up sometime that I'm like, what? And I really have a hard time understanding what he's saying.
Oh, I do.
So I struggle a lot.
And English is my first language.
And they have to translate to tell me what he said.
His English is hard to understand. You know, the Gypsy King, he's quite a character. Did you hang out with him at all after the fight?
No, we didn't hang out, but I think we both respect each other. And I think he always, I mean, he was entertaining, but he always showed respect. And I know that he respected me even from the beginning. You know, it's not like this was after the fight. Even from the beginning, he could have said everything that he would say to make it show, to laugh, make people laugh, but he's very respectful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was there any talk after the fight about a rematch?
Yes, there was even a rematch clause. How they call first regard of rematch clause. There was something in the contract about a rematch clause.
Was that if you beat him, or if
was if I get in the 8th round?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the deal of the rematch was if I get in the 8th round.
So why didn't the rematch materialize?
I think it's a timing. I think it's a matter of a timing. Yeah.
So you go from that fight to the Anthony Joshua fight.
Yes.
So tell me about the preparation and leading up to that fight.
In fact, the preparation for the Anthony Joshua fight, then I started, after having 4 months of training camp for the Tyson Fury fight, I had this feeling, then I get a little confident. Now I know how it works, 10 rounds, and then was pretty good. The Tyson Fury fight, I think I sparred 10 rounds for 2 weeks. Yeah, four sparring of 10 rounds barely. But the Anthony Joshua fight, 6 weeks before the fight, I wasn't 10. No, the Tyson Fury, 4 weeks before the fight, I was already doing 10 rounds. And I was feeling good, even a little lighter. But things plays out different. And I think, unlike the Tyson Fury fight, that nobody expected me to do anything, here they were expecting me to do something. So things played out a little different. And then we get in the fight week, and then every time that we're going to do something in the fight week, whether it's media, they're going to pick me up, and then I get there, have to wait 1 hour and a half before he arrives. And there was maybe the 3rd day of the week that Dewey Cooper, he said, he started to get really mad, upset about it. Yes, this is how they do to get fighter tired. But at the time, I didn't know what was going on, So I'm no, come, relax, Dewey, it's okay. I didn't know until we get to the fight day. Fight day, we receive an email, pick-up time. I mean, this one thing among others. Pick-up time, 10:30 from the hotel. And then when they say 10:30, by 10:20, there's a car in your door waiting. We go to the supposedly fight time, between midnight to 1 a.m. We get to the arena, 10:45. There's a producer come into the locker room, say, guy, we are running late on the broadcast. Now we're gonna go around 1:45 each. I'm okay, 1:45. It's 10:45, 3 hours. Okay,
So what do you do? Do you eat? Do you sleep? What do you do when you know you have 3 more hours?
You don't know. You just stay there, and then you have a drug test guy around waiting for you to pee.
How far before the fight do you eat?
Usually, maybe 4, 5 hours. Yeah, maybe 5 to 6 hours, and then you get some snacks in between, And then, he was around 1:30 that Anthony Joshua arrived. I saw on the screen, I'm so we're supposed to fight at 1:45. He's arriving at 1:30. What does that mean? It's going to, so
they're playing games.
Until we fight at 3:30. We leave
Oh,
the
wow.
locker room at 3:30. I have been in Saudi for almost 2 months, training to fight between midnight and 1. That was my training time. By 2, 3,
So they
in bed,
wanted to keep you
sleep.
anxious, drag it on, psychologically, put it in your head. You don't know when you're going to fight.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But even at that time, I didn't know what was happening.
Right.
It was after everything that I'm like, what's going on? Because I get to the point that I was so tired. I was in the locker room, eating meat, then sit down, feeling asleep. Then I tell Eric Nixick, like, bro, something wrong. I'm asleep. I feel like I want to sleep. Like, I'm sweating. But we just keep doing. So that's fight. I mean, not to say Anthony Joshua couldn't win me. You know, I think if there's somebody that you can lose against him, he's the guy. You know, and he's one of the best of doing it. You know, and this is definitely not on him because he wasn't the guy that was sending all those emails, was organizing. So I'm not blaming about anything. But the organization, bro, nah, they did quite some stuff that wasn't fair. Which on the Tyson fight was perfect. Everything was perfect because I wasn't a threat. Nobody cares about me. Everything was organized. We get there in the locker room, I think was 2 hours before the fight properly. Yeah. So then I'm like,
Well, Anthony Joshua is a veteran. You know, he's been in the boxing game for a long time, and he knows all the different tricks. They also obviously very much prepared for your style. They saw you fight Tyson Fury, so they had tape on you. As Tyson Fury did not have boxing tape. He didn't have any footage to study. But Anthony Joshua did, and it was very clear that he knew you had certain tendencies, and there were certain things that you did with the Tyson Fury fight that he exploited in his fight.
maybe. And then I think he's capable to figure out everybody. I think he's capable to win everybody. But in this case, I feel like in some ways they stand on my way a little bit.
They stood in your way.
Yeah.
So they played some games.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to get the most advantage possible, you know, that's smart. If you're their coach, their manager, that's what I would do too.
But it wasn't their coach that was organizing the fight.
So you think it's the organization itself, that they set everything up in his favor?
The organization. I mean, yes, his team was part of organization because it was Queensberry and Mushroom. Those emails was coming from there.
So those are the people that told you to get there 3 hours earlier than you needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the people that were sending the schedule, the 5-week schedule. And every day we send everything like pick-up time, the program and the schedule.
Have you had a chance to go back and watch the Anthony Joshua fight?
Yeah. I didn't. Yes, I watched it. What was your question?
What do you remember about the fight? What was different watching it?
Oh, even like feeling it. It wasn't. Even before I went to watch it, I get in the ring. Wasn't feeling myself, and the first round, when he knocked me down, like I fell, and I was like, did I slip? Like, what exactly knocked me down, make me fall? Like this punch, because I felt the punch, but it wasn't the punch that would knock me down. You know, so that's when I really get confused at that time. I'm like, damn, what? But this is the thing. From that moment, I get knocked down with a punch that wasn't that hard. Because
you don't think it was that hard?
No, he hit my hand before hit my face, and I felt it. I felt the punch, but I wasn't on the floor. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get counted, then stood up. We finished the round. I went on my corner. But by the time I went on my corner, I never came back from that. I kept going. And I remember being in my corner, and Dewey was like, don't go on southpaw. He's waiting you on southpaw. Do this charm, do this charm. That was it. That's from there. I don't remember when I left the stool to get in the second round.
Well, that was probably from the big punch in the second round too, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the first round.
Right, but the memory afterwards is always going to be cloudy after a knockout, especially a bad knockout like that.
Yeah, but I remember exactly what's happened until we get to the store. I remember being there, like start having blurry vision. Like the guy was in front of me, my team was in front of me speaking to me, and then the voice was getting distance.
So you think there was something wrong?
I don't know if it was the fatigue. I don't know what was it, but something wasn't right.
So something wasn't right on, forget about the punches he landed.
Yeah.
Something else was wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, something was wrong.
Do you think it's something you ate? Do you think it was something
I don't know.
that someone gave you?
I have no proof. I don't know if maybe...
Did you get tested after the fight?
Maybe it's the fact that I get there at that time.
So just the fatigue and the anxiety and
I
all
don't
the
know
hours
if it's the
and hours.
fatigue.
Right.
Yeah, but something wrong. I wanted to get... first of all, like when all those things happen, you are in the moment, you don't think, like you don't get out of the fight and think about like go get tested. You know?
Right.
You process things and then see to understand, to see how he was wrong. But by the time they said, I think I need, you have to do like within 12 hours to do like blood or urine, 12 and 14 and 24 hours. That was it. So I didn't do that. I can't say it was that. I don't know. But
it felt like something was wrong.
It wasn't me, yeah.
So did it feel like something was wrong, like just plain fatigue, or did it feel like something was wrong, like maybe you were poisoned, or maybe you were drugged?
Plain fatigue.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
So just fatigue.
Yeah, on the fatigue aspect.
Yeah. Well, this is also an aspect of experience, right? Because this is only your second professional boxing fight, and there's things that people do. Like they do very intelligent things to, like Gervonta Davis when he fought Ryan Garcia, he made him dehydrate, get down to a low weight, and then there was a clause in the contract where he couldn't gain more than 10 pounds before the fight itself. So he went into the fight dehydrated. Smart for a guy like Gervonta, who's a huge puncher. So there's things that like experienced professionals that have been in the game a long time will get a fighter to agree to that's not in their best interest. And then there's things that they can do to you, like make you wait all day and make you wait around, which will fatigue you.
Yeah. But there wasn't a thing or something in the contract that was forcing me to do something. The only thing was like to show up on time.
Right.
So that was everything. Because like before all that, the week before, sparring, everything feels good. I spar way more better, way more stronger than what I did on the Fury fight.
Right.
Even my sparring partner was different at that time. On the Fury fight, we were getting somebody in maybe after the 6 or 8 rounds just to weigh me down, but the quality of a boxing wasn't that impressive, right? Here, it was different, and I was able to hold. I know that if I had to fall, he would take a little more to get me down.
Well, Anthony Joshua's a big puncher. He's a big puncher, and he's fast. He's fast, and he's a one-punch knockout puncher, as opposed to Tyson Fury can knock guys out with one punch, but really he wears guys out. He beats guys up and then takes them out later, like the Deontay Wilder fight. Like he beats them up and then he takes them out. Whereas Joshua can take people out with one shot. He's a much bigger, physically much more powerful guy.
No, I agree with that, and I knew that. I knew that.
What would you do differently if you could do the Anthony Joshua fight again?
That's the problem. We did everything right. Like,
Everything right in preparation.
in preparation, we did everything right. You know, sometime, you know, like when for example, I fought Stipe. I went back and I could have I could make a whole list of what I did wrong, what I could have done better. And that's why, like, even after that fight, my next fight again, Derek Lewis, was so bad because I was still working on the list of what I have done wrong. But here, we were very disciplined. We did everything, and everybody was professional. You can't say this person did this wrong. This should have been like this. This should have been like that.
It's so different, too, because you're going from no professional boxing fights to two of the very best, not just in the world, but the two of the very best ever. Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, elite fighter, incredible athlete. I mean, he's so good. So did you think, like, at all about having fights with maybe some guys that were below that level to get more experience? Like after the Tyson Fury fight, maybe fighting a guy who's like ranked 15th or 16th, you know.
I'd never thought about that, you know.
You just went for the money. And the money in the big fight. The big fight is obviously...
Yes, won the big fight. So, like, for example, after the Tyson Fury fight, if I go for another guy, top 15, like, what's the goal here? I mean, again, I'm not 20 years old. I'm not 25 that I have a plan to grow up the ranking and get to the championship. I want
just get that money.
Yeah, get the money and get
the big fights.
The big fight out of the big fight. So that was the goal.
Yeah, well, you achieved that goal.
Because, like, first of all, going to the Tyson Fury fight, you didn't know if there was a plan after that, if there was another fight after that. And then after the Tyson Fury fight, the next fight that you have a call for was a Anthony Joshua fight.
Were you trying to get a different fight after the Tyson Fury fight? Like after the Tyson Fury fight, were you trying to get a rematch, or were you just willing to take whatever they are offering you?
The rematch was there. We know we had the rematch, but he was going to fight Usyk first. Thing that's supposed to happen in December, and he couldn't.
Right, he got cut.
Yeah, he couldn't fight in December. So I wasn't really on something. I was just there, and then I get the offer of Anthony Joshua. Then I'm like, let's go. Yeah.
So where do you stand now? What are you planning on doing now?
What do I plan on doing now? I think I still have couple in me.
Boxing fights.
Couple boxing fight. Basically boxing fight. I have couple MMA fight, and I think I haven't think like I'm gonna fight MMA fight by the end of the year with PFL. I'm gonna fight. Might have to fight in Saudi again.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that has been discussed that apparently the UFC might be open to, because the Saudis throw around so much money, is the potential of a joint promotion, a cross promotion with you versus John Jones.
Make it happen.
That is what the world wants to see, because when you have a guy like yourself that knocks out Stipe, becomes the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, and then through negotiation only decides to relinquish the belt. Everybody, even though John Jones is the champion now, everybody's like, yeah, but you didn't win the title against the champion. And you were the most compelling fight in the heavyweight division for sure for John Jones.
Well, that's what I wish. But, in these days, this takes a lot more than what I want or what I wish to happen.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
So tell me, what is the status of your deal with the PFL now? So how does that work?
It's working pretty good. We have a good relationship. I have some fight. Again, I will be fighting by the end of the year. And then...
Do you know who you're fighting?
I think Renan Ferreira is the guy.
Yeah. That's the guy
there's
that
no-
knocked out Ryan Bader.
Yeah.
He's dangerous.
He's dangerous.
He's legit.
I've been telling people about this guy for almost 2 years.
He's a
I
big
say,
dude
watch
too.
this guy.
Yeah.
But very athletic.
Very athletic, fast.
Fast hand,
Mm-hmm.
1-2, knee stuff, like very athletic. Yeah. So I think it's gonna be him.
And you think that fight will be in Saudi Arabia as well?
Yeah, that's what the PFA
Interesting.
is working on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know when that'll take place?
October.
October.
Sometime, yeah.
Ooh.
They're working on October.
All right.
It's not finalized yet, but they was talking about October 19.
Isn't that around the same time the UFC has that big Abu Dhabi card? Don't they have a big Abu? Can you go to the UFC's website and see what their Abu Dhabi card is? I believe, I want to say, somewhere around the end of October, there's a big UFC card in Abu Dhabi. 25th? Oh, no way. October 25th? So October 25th, yeah.
Yeah. So 1 week after.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if the UFC has that card finalized. Do they have that card finalized? They always put on a big fight when they go to Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's always a big card. A lot of like top level fighters on that card.
Yeah. Even this Riyadh one gonna be a big card.
No, I'm sure.
If we make it happen, they're gonna stack that card.
Do you know who else would be on that card with you?
I don't. Again, it's not finalized yet, but I think Cedric Doumbé will be on that card.
Doumbé, I love that dude.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I've had him on the podcast before.
He's an entertainer too.
He's a comedian.
He's a comedian. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's funny.
Right?
He's very funny, but
Oh, yeah.
goddamn, he can fight.
Oh no, he can fight.
How crazy was that
he
fight?
He can back up whatever he says.
Oh yeah, he's an elite kickboxer. He trained at my gym in L.A. When I had my gym in L.A., his trainer came when he did my podcast, and he had a workout session. And man, his workout sessions are crazy. It's so cardio intensive. They're doing like sprints on the treadmill, and they run to the heavy bag, sprints on the heavy bag, run back to the treadmill. I was like, damn. Like watching that, I was like, no wonder why this guy has a crazy gas tank.
Well, he was a champion at Glory for a long time.
Yes.
So and
Not just a champion, but
that wasn't a mistake.
well, he was knocking everybody out. Not just knocking everybody out, but the way he did it, like he melted guys. He put pressure on them, and knockout power, but intelligence, and just great technique, but the cardio was crazy. And I remember thinking, like, this dude doesn't get tired. And then watching him train, and I'm like, oh, well, there it is. I mean, he's not just doing, like, normal mitt work. Like, I've seen other guys work out where they do mitt work, they do their things. Like, his stuff is cardio intensive, man. He wants to have a full gas tank when he gets in there.
Yeah, he knows
that?
what he's looking for.
How crazy was that fight where they called the fight because he stepped on a piece of glass inside the cage?
I don't know, man. I don't even know what that referee was doing.
All they
Like
had to do
somebody
was
said,
pull it out of his toe.
Yeah, like
He's like, hey, I stepped on something. I stepped something in my toe. And the referee's like, fight's off.
Yeah, I think you stop the fight and you even check the canvas if there's no more piece of a glass on the canvas.
That should be overturned.
Because that was dangerous.
It is dangerous. But that should be a no contest. There's no way that should count as a loss.
That was a no contest
insane.
fight.
No contest at all. No chance. How the fuck does that other guy get a win?
He's not complaining about like eye poke or something that didn't happen.
Nothing.
Piece of a glass.
And he's pointing to his toe, and he's saying, just let me get it out of my toe.
Yeah.
Let me get this out of my toe. It shouldn't be there. And things happen. Who knows how it even got in there? Who knows what happened? The odds, just some random freak accident. He steps on something that nobody... You know what it could have been? Stuck to someone's shoe, and someone's walking around the cage with that stuck in their shoe, and it falls out of their shoe, and it sticks in his toe. He stands on it. He gets it in his toe, and he just points down. They say, stop the fight.
Yeah.
And he's like, I lost?
He pointed out twice, like... First and the
see if you can find that, Jamie.
The second time,
I was reading someone's explanation of what Mark Goddard did, and they said he did what you're supposed to do. Like a fighter can't ask for a timeout And so, like, if
No, that's wrong.
It wasn't
It's not a timeout.
There's a foreign object inside the cage.
Something, a foreign
that
object.
falls under to the timidity sections of the referee's guidelines in which
No,
they
no.
are instructing the
Timidity?
athlete to continue fight. This is just someone's
Did
explanation.
they say
of what
timidity?
That's what this says.
Oh, that's
Timidity sections
ridiculous.
of the
No,
referee's
no.
guidelines.
Oh, that's
But I'll
ridiculous.
find the.
See if we can find the footage though, because the footage it's so obvious there's something wrong. The referee should just say time. Ask him what he's saying.
What?
It wasn't like he was
yeah.
in trouble and he was looking for a
No.
timeout.
Yeah.
It was just
he was
in the
deaf
middle of the
in
fight.
a 50-50
Yeah.
position.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
break
yes.
the fight.
Break
it's
the
not
fight.
like nobody is losing position.
Exactly. So here it is. He's standing there.
Yeah. It's not like nobody is losing position from that. It's not like he take a punch, I want to recover from that.
Fucking crazy.
Yes, no.
I just don't understand that at all.
That
I mean,
wasn't-
I haven't talked to Mark about it.
That wasn't a good decision.
I don't
about
understand. I mean, maybe he's hindered by the rules. Maybe that's just what the rules state you have to do. When a fighter says you have to stop something for a second, I don't know what the rules are in terms of that. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen someone step on something inside the octagon and then point down to their foot. I've never seen it. So I don't.
Yeah.
But man, what a shame. But he came after that and he won. He won his next fight. He's going to fuck up a lot of people, man. I was bummed out that he went to the PFL. I wanted that guy in the UFC.
He can fucked up a lot of people.
Ooh, and you know he's got a lot of years on the clock too.
He said he wanted to go to the UFC, and then they give him some sort of contract, and then I'm like, no, bro.
They gave him a bad contract.
Yeah,
That's
I think he
unfortunate.
said that on the tweet, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he
I don't
made some
know.
tweet about like
That doesn't
his
make any
salary.
sense. Well, that's
Or was
crazy.
it
because
interview?
That guy could
Yeah,
be a
so-
superstar.
Yeah.
He could be a superstar. He's
He
so
is a
fun.
superstar.
Yeah.
He's a superstar. The guy filled up the Bessie Arena in Paris.
Yes.
Like,
in France, he's a superstar. Yeah. I mean, and that could translate 100% to the United States and to the rest of the world. I mean, he's that good. He's that good.
Yeah.
He's one of the best in the world. And
And
the
he-
fact that he's over there, it's just like, well, great for the PFL. Great for the PFL, you know, but for the UFC, like, that's a big loss. Like, anytime you can get an elite kickboxer, and he did a lot of training. He did a lot of training in wrestling, went to AKA, trained there. He's really worked on his takedown defense. And
he wants something.
yeah.
He definitely wants something, and he's working on it.
And the guy has serious discipline and work ethic. And he's just smart, man. And the way he fights, he's just like, he sets guys up. And he talks so much shit before the fight, too. He's
Yeah.
fun.
Did you watch his first fight at the PFL?
Yeah.
The guy brought a mattress. Like, what the fuck is this? Say, Jordan, go to sleep. And he put the guy to sleep.
Yeah.
In few seconds.
Well, the difference between his level of striking and most guys in that division level of striking is like this.
Yeah, there's a huge gap of
A
a difference.
giant gap.
The other guy was just trying to compensate with their wrestling or jiu-jitsu or something.
Exactly.
And even if you don't have a better wrestling than him, at least you grab him, you avoid some punch.
Yes, and the thing about him is that every fight starts standing up. It's one thing if you're a really good wrestler, you have to take the guy to the ground,
Yeah.
but the fight starts standing. You know, with Cedric, the fight starts in his best place.
And then you see how he was fighting his second fight. He was very low. He went very low. Like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
you're a wrestler.
Yeah,
Let's see how you're gonna
yeah,
get that level change.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already down here. So getting he's very intelligent, very smart.
intelligent. And,
Yeah.
and again, his level of striking, and we see that with like guys like Alex Pereira. Right? Like that level of striking, when you're a glory champion, the level of striking is so high. It's so above the average MMA fighter. Then when
Yeah.
he gets in there with these guys, they don't want none of that.
And then as soon as they started get like a little wrestling defense and stuff like
Yes.
that, they become a trouble. You can't take him down anymore.
Exactly.
And then you stand in front of him, he smoke you. So
Yes.
what could you do?
Well, you see that with Alex Pereira now. His
Yeah.
takedown defense is much better, and he
Yeah.
keeps getting better. He's evolving so quickly. Like
No,
that.
because he's been training.
Yeah.
He's been training for so long.
He's been training for so long, and then he's also training with Glover. You know, Glover Teixeira, who's
yes.
also former champion. I mean, Glover was a guy that was locked out of America for 6 years. He couldn't come to America for 6 years because he had visa issues, and he was like the boogeyman. We would all hear about him in Brazil. And everybody would talk. Yeah, Glover was like one of those guys before he entered into the UFC and I think he wasted his prime, unfortunately, in Brazil. No, I'll say wasted his prime, but I think his prime years were outside of the United States. That's why when he won the title, he was like 42.
43.
43?
What exactly is a prime years for a guy that won a title at 44? At 43.
Well, you just think
you get to the point you get you to think that maybe 43 is the prime years.
he won the title at that year, right?
Yeah, you watch that
Yeah.
here, I'm like 43, it's not that old. You know, I think at 43 you can still do something.
Yeah. It depends on the division, right? Like George Foreman won the heavyweight title at 45.
Yeah. Yeah, heavyweight
Different.
is more, it's different.
Yeah.
Because they don't push on that gas, you know.
Right.
They throw some punch and move.
How
The
old is
speed,
Cedric?
You know. Cedric Dombe?
Yeah. Find out how
I
old he
don't
is,
know.
James.
I
I want to
think
say
he's-
he's young.
Yeah, he's young. He's young. He might be 30.
How old is he?
30.
31. That's a good
At
age.
31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that level of kickboxing, whoo. And
Yeah.
power, man. You know, like not just like technique, but power and endurance. Like it's a rare combination he has of very, very good endurance and extreme power.
Yeah, he hit like a deaf guy.
Yeah, he's a fucking killer. I'm excited to see
Yes.
what happens. Do you
Yeah,
understand the PFL's point system? Do you understand that system?
What do you mean?
You know how they have points, like if you get a knockout in the first round, you get 1 point or 3 points. Or
Yeah.
what the fuck are they doing?
Why
Why are they doing that?
That's for the regular season. I think it's just to push people for a better fight. Everybody knows that you get a knockout, you deserve something better. You get a finish, you get something.
Right, but you
when
can't
you
always
get
get
a
a finish.
knockout-
But what if you're fighting a guy that's like your level? Like you're both elite and you're both fighting in like this incredible fight. You shouldn't be penalized because you can't take out a fighter who's the best in the world in the first round. That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, but either way, if you win a fight, you're winning something.
Yeah.
You just win more. It's like having a win bonus or something.
I don't like win bonuses either. I hate win bonuses.
Yeah, me too. I don't like.
I don't like.
I don't like.
I
win
like
bonus.
boxing set up better, where you have a you have a contract. You're going to get paid $10 million, whatever it is. That's what you get. You don't get $10 million, but you only get $5 million if a shitty judge gives it to the other guy, which we've seen so many times in the UFC. Guys lose half their paycheck because of a bad decision.
Yeah, but who does that benefit?
Well, who does it
benefits from
benefit? I don't know who it benefits. I don't think it benefits anybody. I think it's bad for everybody. I think it's bad for the audience because they're like, what? Because it makes them angry. It's bad for the fighter for sure. If a fighter loses their paycheck, loses half their paycheck because of a bad decision,
How about the promotion?
I don't even think it's good for the promotion. I think it's unfair. I don't think it makes any sense. No guy's trying at the elite level. Everyone's trying to win. They're all trying to
Yes,
win.
Yeah.
No one's not trying to win.
Absolutely.
No one's going to just
Because
coast.
for the most part, you get there by winning.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
that's
whole
how
thing
you
is
get there.
the glory of victory. It's what you're trying to do. You're not going to fight less hard. I just don't understand the logic behind it. I think it's a flawed concept. I think it's something that never existed in combat sports before MMA and really shouldn't exist. I think fighters fight their best, especially at the elite level. They fight their best.
Yeah, I agree with you because like when you lose a fight, at least you should get your full pay on that fight.
Yes.
But that won't, the loss won't help you, would disadvantage you on the next fight.
Right.
You know, on next negotiation. I'm like,
Right.
oh, you lose 2 fights in a row.
Right.
So you don't have a power position anymore.
Exactly.
But like just to pick half of your purse because you lose a fight. Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't like it at all.
No,
I don't
not
like
at
it at
all.
all. It just it doesn't make sense to me. I've heard people try to argue it, and every time they try to make an argument for it, I'm like, I don't get it. It's not fair for the fighters. Fighters only have, if they're really lucky, like what's the most fights that an elite fighter in the UFC has? Like 50, 45, 50 fights. You know, maybe
50 fight.
maybe there's a few guys that have
Yeah.
like that level of fights. Most guys, they top off way less than that.
Oh, way less.
Yeah, way less. So the
If
idea
you,
that
if
like,
you s- by the time you start your career, if you have like an injury,
yeah,
good luck.
right,
Good luck to reach 25.
right, especially ACL surgery, you're out for a year. Shoulder surgery, you're out for a year.
Yeah.
Broken hand, you're out for
And
5
might
months.
might never be the same.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah,
And most people, it's not like there's an age to start. Like, oh, you start at 20 or 25.
right.
Some people will get there at 30, over 30. I mean,
Well, how old
they-
were
they
you when
already
you
have some
started
mileage.
training so late? Like, how old were you when you started training?
27?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was 27.
Yeah.
But that was only when I could have trained,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So,
You only have a certain amount of years. Yeah.
yeah, but just want to do the best out of those years.
Of course. But
Yeah.
for you to be fighting on a system that penalizes you if there's a bad judge and you miss half your paycheck. Does the
Yeah.
PFL do win bonuses too? Do they do the same thing?
I don't know exactly.
You don't know. Your contract is probably different than everybody else's anybody.
Yes, and I haven't. Yeah, my contract is different. No, either way, I wouldn't go for that win bonus stuff. I have nothing against bonus, but don't split my paycheck in two, talking about like win bonus. No, give me my paycheck. If you wanna give a bonus for the win, let's do another deal on that one.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I
Because
think
whether I lose or I don't lose or I win, I train, I get prepared for the fight. I come, I give everything for that fight. I should get paid.
yes.
And the same thing that I give in that fight to lose could have get me to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And so now the PFL and Bellator are one organization now, right? The PFL acquired Bellator. Is that
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes.
Do the Saudis have something to do with that as well? Don't they own part of it?
They invest in the PFL, yes. In the main PFL, because there's a main PFL, a house PFL that has like the PFL and the Bellator now.
Hmm.
And then now they're having like a regional PFL, like a PFL MENA that launched this year, and then PFL Africa that's launching next year.
And that's your shirt.
Yeah.
And so you're a part of that as well, right?
Oh yeah, that was the biggest. I think that was the biggest reason for me in that contract. The PFL Africa part was the most important one in that contract. You know, like before that, I was trying to like. Even to the UFC, I have requested to be like, oh, I want to be the UFC ambassador in Africa. I want to do something out there. I'm like, oh, no, we don't know. You know, this is not, we don't. And then I get the PFL. They say, okay, we're doing this, we'll do that. They show me the roadmap. Like, okay, we launched PFL Africa 2025. You're the PFL Africa chairman. Like, which extent? Because I don't want that bullshit of paper chairman or whatever it is, like at which extent, like what exactly are you seeing in PFL Africa? And then they put it out and show me some element. I'm like, good, then I'm on board.
Well, that is one good thing about going over to the PFL, because you have so much value to them. Like for you coming over, you were the undisputed heavyweight champion of the UFC. You come over to the PFL, everybody knows who you are. Now it elevates the PFL. So it's nice because it allow you to do more things.
And to be honest, one thing, I have a healthy relationship. You know, it's peaceful. Get to the point of my life that I really get tired or sick of drama. Sometimes I just get into something, find myself in the middle of some drama, and then I just walk away. Whatever you want to say, you say. You might say, I disrespect you. You say, oh, I this, I that. Bro, I don't have so much energy to give into that.
So that was part of what was going on with the UFC. There was a lot of drama.
That's will take a lot out of you. You get to the point that I'm like, I just want this to be over.
Right.
I just want to get to be over.
Right.
Get back to my life, but you're already in the middle. Whether you want to go back, you have to deal with drama. If you have to go forward, you have to deal with drama. So you better keep going forward.
Yeah, especially, I mean, like, how much time do you have left, right? I mean, how many more years do you think you're going to be fighting?
Yeah. And doesn't matter. I mean, soon 38, and I think I'm going to be, I really want to retire in my, as I say, I want to leave the sport before the sport leaves me.
Smart.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my average like 41.
So 3 more years.
Yeah, 41 by that.
Do you have a thought of how many more boxing fights versus how many more MMA fights you want to do?
Not exactly. I think I would take it how it comes. I'll take it how it comes.
And so the next fight will be MMA definitely, or
and
maybe boxing?
Maybe in my 40s, I still feel like I have it. You know,
Right.
if I feel like at 41, I feel like I have it.
Well, you keep
Take
going to
another
waste
fight.
well.
I keep
Keep going to waste well.
keep,
They'll keep you hooked
exactly.
up.
Keep regenerating.
Yeah.
And then take one at a time. You know, but what I really don't want to do is to like wake up and go to the gym like I'm forced. You know,
Right,
If
right,
I feel
right,
like I have it, I'm excited. Today is a sparring day. I'm going to get there. Whether I'm
Right.
gonna beat somebody up or they're gonna beat me up, either way, I'm excited.
Right.
You know, if I still have that, I keep going.
Right.
But as soon as I don't have that, even if I'm not 40 yet, I think is a sign, is a call out.
Yeah, well, that's intelligent. That's smart. That's the way you phrased it. I like the way you phrased it. Leave
Yeah.
the sport before the sport leaves you.
Yeah, that's
Because we've all seen guys who hung around too long.
I would still always do the sport. I would never really leave the sport. But the competition at that level, you know, you need to be ready. You need to be into it. You need to want to be there. You don't just want to do it because, okay, I have to. No, you don't go play with punches because you have to. No.
Right.
You better
want to be
want
enthusiastic.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know for sure that you'll be fighting MMA next, or is it possible that a big boxing match could present itself and you would do that next?
I would say MMA next.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say MMA next. Because I'm supposed to fight, it's been over a year, little over a year now, since the PFL agreement, and then supposed to have a fight in a year. So now we are getting a little out of the timeline, for sure. And by the time we were figuring out who should be my opponent, and I think things are very clear now. Renan Ferreira made his self very clear that he's a challenger that should make the fight. He's the opponent that can make that fight happen.
And let's assume you get past that. Will you then decide whether or not you're going to fight MMA next or boxing next? Or because one of the things about the PFL is there's not a lot of there's not a lot of very compelling challenges for you there, unfortunately. At least now.
Yes.
They could sign some more top flight heavyweights. I mean, who knows what happens with many people? Who knows what happens with John Jones? I mean, I don't know what happens with any of these guys. I mean, he could wind up going to the PFL. Who fucking knows?
He could.
If they come up with some big money, you know, you could get a lot of people that will be willing to go over there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I think after this fight, I'll see what's happened. I don't really have a clear mind on what will happen, but I would say most likely boxing.
Most likely boxing after that?
Yeah, most likely boxing.
Do you have an opponent in mind?
No.
No?
Absolutely not. We will see the landscape and what I can get. Who I can get. Because my expectation, as you were asking me earlier, like how many fighters do I think I can do in MMA or boxing? I think if I get to like a good 4-fight plan in boxing, I think that could be good. You know, you get like a good 4 fight, and then you build like who should be next. That could be my my potential retirement plan.
Well, it sounds like you already made a good amount of money. Like,
Yeah, I have made a good amount of money, but you also have to remember that I started this sport for passion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't start the sport for the money, because at first there is no money.
Right.
At first it's just punch flying over your head all over, and you
Yeah.
have to dodge and then fight and not get paid, fight for free for quite some time, so I love the sport. I still love the sport. I love combat sport. I love fighting, and I think I'll do it until I feel like I cannot do it anymore.
Is boxing more unique to you because it's a new challenge?
Boxing is different to me because it's even even the muscles memory are not the same. The functionality of my body is not the same, unlike MMA, that I know every single action in MMA, every single moment. I've been there tens of times. I know, I get this. But boxing, you're still like, okay, you might get even in some position and get stressed because you've never been there. You don't know.
Think.
You have to figure out.
Right. Instead of it being instinctive.
Yeah. And then you until you get there two, three times, then I'm like, it's okay. I can deal with it. MMA. I go MMA fight with a knee injury. I'm still like, I get this. But boxing, little different. You basically know that questioning yourself about if you can handle this. It's not like I get this.
Right.
Yeah, it's different.
There's a lot of thinking because it's a new thing for you.
Yeah.
When you train for boxing, I know you have Dewey Cooper, you have Eric Nixick. Like, did you bring other people in to help train you in boxing?
Yeah, I brought John Bumba from France. He assists Dewey sometime because he's very he has a very good amateur style, which I think is something that I still need to build in my game. And other than that, I have a Trip, which is my strength and conditioning coach. So I put those elements down.
Did you get a chance to spar any top heavyweights in America?
Top heavyweight like who? I would say Carlos Takam. Guido is at top right now. He's my other sparring partner. But in America, not other top. I get Jeremiah Milton as well. But no other big name in America.
Which is even more impressive, your performance against Tyson Fury, when you consider you really didn't even spar elite heavyweights.
Listen, I think sometimes we don't give credit to some people because they don't just have a name, because they haven't have a stage to play on,
right?
And we think like, he's nobody, he's not an elite. Let me take you some example. Before Andy Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua, would you think about him as an elite fighter?
No, a lot of people had no idea.
But he was still there, and he was just good as he is right now.
Well, he's
but because he didn't
unusual.
have the scene, to be exposed, so nobody care about him. And if you say, I spar with Andy Ruiz, I'm like, yes, but you haven't sparred with the elite. You see?
Yes.
And there's a lot of people like that out there.
Right. A lot of people that haven't got their shot yet, but they have elite
they haven't
talent.
got the shot, but they are there.
Right.
They are present. They are elite.
Well, when you first made your way, and when you told that story on the podcast of your journey, leaving Cameroon and making your way and getting turned back so many times, when you first arrived and you finally got to France, you wanted to be a boxer.
No, even before I left, I wanted to be a boxer. Even decades before I left, I wanted to be a boxer. That wasn't even a question. I always knew what I wanted.
So when it finally went full circle and you became a boxer again, did it feel like, this is how it was supposed to be?
I was living my dream. There is no way that, I don't think there's a way that things supposed to be. You get what you get, and then you be grateful, and then you make the best out of it.
Yeah.
So I was living the dream. I ended up having to fight two best boxer in the world. After having a great MMA career, not bad from a guy coming from where I came from.
Oh, it's
and
amazing.
Basically from having the path that I had, and who knows, some good thing might still happen.
Oh, some good things I'm sure will still happen. But your path is incredible, and I encourage anybody
Thank you,
that
Joe.
hasn't heard it to go back and listen to the first podcast you and I did together, where you explained it. I was stunned. I remember for the rest of the day, all I could think about was your story and how insane it is that what you had to go through to finally make it to Europe. Incredible story.
Just as I was saying earlier, because some people hasn't been exposed, they haven't get a big stage, like they don't care about them. There are a lot of people out there with a better story than mine, they're stronger than mine, that even me, I'm impressed. I'm like, bro, how do you do that? I don't think I could have done that, and there are a lot, not like one or like two, three, a lot of people,
Yeah.
But I think I happen to be the one that have the sin and have been exposed. My story has been exposed to the world.
It's you went through that struggle, and then
I have the Joe Rogan experience to tell my own story, which they don't have.
Well, I'd be happy to have them on too if they had a story like yours and the success that you've had from that. It's very inspiring, and it speaks to the human spirit, because that's what people love to hear about someone who did not give up and struggled so hard. How many times did you get sent back? 7, 8 times?
6 times.
6 times
in the ocean. 6 times. Yeah. And then I made it the 7th time.
Crazy.
Seven is a magic number.
It is a magic number, right? It's a lucky number.
I made it the 7 number.
Yeah.
The 7 times.
It's an incredibly inspirational story. And I love the fact that you're dedicated to doing this thing in Africa now, and to give more people an opportunity and to give them a path towards a career.
Regardless of what you might think of my life, I think I'm a very blessed guy. I think I'm a very lucky guy. First of all, I think even if when I explain, you might don't really understand where I came from. And to imagine that I'm here today, calling a shot, bro, it's crazy. It's just insane, So I think I'm a very lucky guy. God have really blessed me. And then I also think those blessings comes with a lot of opportunity that I can bring back, because when I was there for so many times, I can't tell you how many times that my hope was to somebody to come do something, to some good Samaritan to take some action that I would take advantage on, Then it happened that I've been blessed to be the guy that can do that, and even without taking even without that taking anything out of me, So I'm like, he would be a sin not to do something, for example, for the PFA Africa, my dream about that, what get me excited about that is just seeing myself not have to leave Africa as I did, and then have to compete in the good platform like that, have to make a living, have to fight in the world-class fighter in that level, and just staying home.
Right.
And don't have to risk all this life, go through all this stuff, through the ocean, the barbed wire, the prison stuff that I've been through to do that. I just have to stay home and do that.
Right.
So now it's a platform that's going to give opportunity to many people that maybe have a plan to go through that same path, and that might not have made it, They're just doing it at home.
That's beautiful.
How could you not do think of doing something like that when you have an opportunity, and it's not like it's a word that they carry and put on your head, and a burden that you have to carry. Is an opportunity that you can just help participate and make it happen.
So tell me, how does this play out? Do you establish gyms in Africa? Are you going to put a gym in Cameroon? How are you going to do this?
I have 2 gyms in Cameroon already.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, through my foundation, I have one gym for 6 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then the second gym's been around for almost 2 years, and we built that one with a partner. A partner helped us to build they like our project with the foundation, and then they joined us, Premier Bet. They joined us to build that gym for us, a very big ass gym. So we have that too, and we were in the project to build the third one. But with the PFL, one thing that I requested, and then it was granted, was that everywhere that we are going to do, we're going to try to build gyms around. Because yes, it's good to bring PFL, to bring competition around, but remember, so many of those people, they have nothing. Many of those kids that want to fight, they might be training in the on the beach. They might be training. They don't really have a gym to train at, but yet you're expecting them to compete at the highest level. So it's at least good to have a system that will help them. It's like having a garden.
Right.
Yeah, having a garden to create talent that you need for your organization, So helping them to help you, because at the end of the day, you need talent. At the end of the day, talent needs organization. So the thing is that with PFL Africa, we're going to build gyms that fighter will use and develop. And then we're going to also help get coaches, experienced coaches that can go and teach, and also teach another coach how to properly train at that coach at that level, stuff like that. So that's the goal. It's about building something. It's not like here that you come and everything is established and you have your promotion and go. No, it's like building something, working from the grassroots. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So Africa is obviously a huge continent, and there's so many countries in it.
Full of talent.
What is the scene like in Africa right now in terms of what are the local promotions, and how many of them are there, and how many young talented fighters do you see that are coming out of there that could eventually come over to the PFL or the UFC or Bellator or ONE FC or any of the large organizations?
Okay. So you asked me the question like many American, what is the scene in Africa?
In the different countries.
Africa is 52 countries.
Right.
And I never been in 5 of them.
So I know South Africa has a large scene. Obviously Dricus du Plessis from South Africa. There's a lot of good fighters from South Africa.
They have an organization there, I think it's EFC, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria been doing good. They also have I think it's African Knockout that Usman Kamaru is part of.
Right.
There are also some regional organization. They might be smaller or not quite popular.
Is there one large organization ever over there at all?
No, not yet.
So most of them are fairly small?
Yeah, because again, you have to build everything from the scratch.
Right.
So everybody is trying to do the best out of what he get.
Right.
But if to have a good organization, you need to build gym. You need to give those fighters where to train. You need to help them about
get experience,
get training,
top coaches,
even get top coaches.
Yeah.
And then more people training. At least they have training partners, which is not they don't have.
Right.
I have seen a lot of some African fighters that are really good, but they'll have to go somewhere else because they don't have a training partners. But with this program, it's gonna be a whole ecosystem. A whole ecosystem in the fact that you're gonna have a gym that you're gonna train, and then maybe provide a fighter who's gonna fight in the promotion, and that might have money, and then that money will attract people, will attract other people to train because he have seen other one making a living out of training. He have seen that it's possible. He have seen the opportunity right next to his door. Like,
Right.
they are here. I don't have to travel. It's not in America anymore. It's not in Europe anymore.
Right.
It's here. I just have to stay here and get dedicated. So it's possible.
And it's interesting too if the PFL has if they establish PFL Africa, the beautiful thing is that if they have top level fights over there and then they take those fights and they broadcast them all over the world, then there's so much opportunity.
Yes. I mean, the fighter of PFL Africa will not only be seen in Africa. Not to mention that the champions of the PFL Africa will just as PFL MENA and PFL Europe, they will all come together to fight for the men PFL title. So
That's exciting.
everybody is getting that big stage. They are all working. They are all still under like the men PFL.
Yes.
You see, which is something that is very interesting, and then we give more spotlight, more opportunity. Also get attention of media, and then who says media says attention of sponsor that will go maybe to gym, to fighters, and that will create an ecosystem around that. Media interests, sponsor come around, and then fighter get paid, and then maybe his sparring partner get paid, or I don't know, he has his assistant or somebody work for him get paid, and the money is now in the loop.
And
everybody.
Do you see yourself after you retire from fighting going into a coaching and mentoring role for fighters? Do you see yourself being more of an executive position, like working with either the PFL or whoever?
I never see myself as a coach. I don't have like a vocation for that. It's not something that I'm looking forward to. Although I see myself like maybe stay in the sport somewhere. Like I also don't see myself as a manager.
That's a hard job.
And yeah, I know, cool.
A lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
Managers deal with a lot of bullshit.
Like, I just think that is a job that you think like to be good at it, you need to be screwing somebody.
Right.
Most likely. Not always, but most likely.
Might be on the table.
So I don't see myself like that, but I see myself really like working on like the growth of the sport, basically in Africa. And again, that's why like the PFL Africa comes to me like the right thing.
Yeah.
The retirement plan, thing that I could be focused on, been working on. I know how Africa works perfectly. I know how PFL work perfectly. I know Pete Murray and Don Davis, they are very excited about it. But bro, they are white people from America and they don't know how Africa works. I am from Africa and I know the deep ground of Africa and I know the challenge there. I know the problem there as an athlete, and I think that's where I will impact. I think a role of an executive will be like, it's some fancy thing that, yes, I might have, but I think my good job is to work on the field because I know the problem on the field, the root and the problem there, what could be done, what needs to be done, what they need, I think that's what I will be best at.
Also, for young fighters,
like being like, it's cool to be chairman of PFL Africa, but I'm not going to sit in the office. I'm like, I'm a chairman, and then wear suit and tie every day to run stuff. I think I'm gonna.
No, it doesn't seem like you. But I think like for you, for a young fighter, there's no greater source of inspiration than a guy like yourself. I mean, if you look at your career, you've only been fighting for 10 years. Look at all you've accomplished. UFC heavyweight champion, fought two of the best boxers alive. You're an international superstar. You made millions of dollars. Like, that is the height of
Don't
inspiration.
say that on mic, Joe.
Sorry.
When you say
Everybody
that,
knows.
yeah, but when you say that out loud, maybe you get some lawsuit. You know, money is like honey. You always attract bees.
That's so true. That's so true. A lot of stingers out there. So let's forget about the money. But just look at the accomplishment and just knowing that you came, I mean, especially, again, if someone hears your story of how hard it was for you to literally essentially walk from Cameroon to Morocco and then make it all the way over to Europe and then make a career in fighting and then make it to the United States, get into the UFC, and then in a matter of a few short years become the UFC heavyweight champion. For young fighters, that's like that guy did it. Like, he did it. He came from where I came from. I can do it now. Once someone has done it, it makes it more accessible, at least mentally, to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the fundamental idea about my foundation. The reason why I did a foundation, for me, he was just so not only those kids can have access in the gym, which is something that me growing up, I was just dreaming about it. The only gym that I have seen until I was 22 was the gym that I saw, whether in my dream or in the TV. I never see a real gym, even though I always want to do combat sport. But I thought, like, if you build like nice gym, not only those kids have access, he make them have this feeling, this connection with reality. Like, oh, the thing that I always see in TV is here, is possible, you know. And then the guy that maybe I have seen on TV or heard about is also here. Like, he's around, he came here, so it's possible, you know, because so the idea of the foundation was just to motivate kids, allow them to believe in themselves, and I think it's still what we're working on, to help them believe, trust, have a trust in themselves, a self-believing, have a self-confident in themselves. And this doesn't matter what they want to do in life. You might want to be a doctor, you might want to be a lawyer, accountant, journalist, whatever you want to do. But I do think that a guy that somebody that believe in himself, success for that guy is just a matter of time. And you can be a champion in whatever you do. You see, like, you don't have to be a fighter to become a champion.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it's another question I wanted to ask you is, do you have any other aspirations of doing things outside of fighting once you've retired? Because one of the things you were talking to Jamie about before the show started was producing. You were talking about production, like film and filming things. And do you have other aspirations?
I have a lot of aspiration, but not like a job. I have a lot of passion. You know, I'm passionate about a lot of things. Today, I have quite a resource to have some hobbies, you know, stuff that I'm excited about, I'm passionate about. I create a small production in Cameroon, in my village, just to train kids so they can have to touch camera like this. All those stuff that we have here, I have it back home. They touch, they learn on it. You know, I just want them to be able to operate a good camera. If someday they want to do, or somebody want to do a movie, they have somebody that can operate a nice camera just home. Don't need to go to Europe or in America to bring people, because local they can do, and they have been trained on good cameras, you know. So I have started stuff like that a lot.
What inspired you to do that in terms of cameras and production and stuff?
I always love cameras.
Yeah.
I see and I always impress, and then I see stuff here, and then I see the challenge, the difference that are, you know, like you will see somebody that make a film, a movie that might be on Netflix with a very low quality of camera. Then I'm like, what if this guy has access on a good camera? What can he do?
Right.
You know.
Well, that's one of the things you were talking about with fighters.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of people out there that are very talented that just haven't had their shot yet.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people like that with filmmaking and with stand-up comedy and writing. literature, yeah,
everything.
Yeah,
And
they
I,
just haven't had their opportunity.
and I always say this. I think we might have become UFC the first African champion just because there wasn't so many people that have a chance. I mean, like when you look at Kamaru Adesanya, I'm sure if you go to Africa, you can find some motherfucker who can beat us up. But lucky us, he didn't have that chance yet. So
That's very humble of you.
We took the opportunity, right?
Well, you
So-
open the door though, and it makes it possible for others, which is that's one of the more important things about accomplishment. Is
But
that
with time goes
makes it
by, the
possible.
challenge will become tougher and tougher,
Sure,
and we will
sure.
come around, and we might come very short.
Well, look at Brazil. You know, I mean, look at Brazil. There's so many
Exactly.
champions, so many elite fighters come out of Brazil now. It's because Royce Gracie opened that door, and then
Yeah.
the UFC just became a place for them.
And then if you take even that Roy Gracie on his prime, put him here, he's gonna get beat up maybe by some kickboxer,
yeah,
you know. But he was the one that
Right.
opened that door.
He opened
you
that
know,
door.
that gave that opportunity, that made the path through that.
yeah. It's so important that you recognize that like your position is not just as an individual, but your position is as an inspiration to others, and to give people this they see it like, oh, I can do it. He did it. It's possible.
Yeah, I think in life we take every opportunity that we have. We get to the point again that we have a opportunity to affect other life. How many people affect other life? How many people in their lifetime walk around and parents walk to them and like, oh, my kid want to be like you.
Right.
You know, I think it's something really cool. It's
very
really
cool.
great.
It's very cool.
Like a parent that want the best for their kids. Yes, kids wanted to be like you. Yes, it's different because he's not very smart. He's not wise, and even kids want to do some dumb shit. So you might be a bad guy, and kids still want to be like you.
A drug
But
dealer.
a parent that really protective about their kids, like want the best for their kids, and then they will come like, oh, your son is such an inspiration. My kid want to be like you.
Yeah.
So that basically like him approving that he kid should be like you. He hope for his kid to become like you. That's a big statement, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's really cool. It's really cool, and it's there's such a unique time for people too, because internet is available pretty much all over the world now. So kids in all these countries, especially if they have phones, they have access to all of this information.
And it's messy. It's coming from all over, and they can find everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Now, how to help them to pick what's good and what's not good?
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because information is good, but
a lot of it's bullshit.
a lot of it is bullshit. You have to
Yeah.
filter, because some of them are just bad seed in the bag.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, and then have you seen what's happening in the Amazon? There's this very small uncontacted tribe, and they got internet access, and now a lot of them are just on their phones all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the tribe leaders are like, "Well, what the fuck? Everyone's lazy. You guys are becoming like Americans now. You're just on your phone all day. They're looking at tits and looking at porn and like, you know."
Of course.
And this thing that they thought would be a beautiful thing, oh, this would be so great. We're going to get access to information. People are going to get educated. Instead, you know, a lot of them are just looking at TikTok videos.
Yeah, but
They got to have to figure out how to manage
educated
that.
people, for the most part, are lazy.
Really? You think so?
Yeah.
I think people, for the most part, are lazy
Have
if
you
you
ever-
give them an opportunity to be lazy.
No.
It's hard to be disciplined, especially if you don't have examples of other disciplined people around you.
You know, some people might just have been educated, keep going to school because they choose school over work.
That's true.
And some people choose work over school.
That's true as well. Yeah.
And then you go to school, and after being graduated or have your PhD, and then you're like, oh, he's educated. He's this. In fact, you were running away from a job.
I'm sure. Well, that's educators. That's the problem with our universities.
So,
those people wind up teaching.
At the end of the day, yes, you are educated, but in reality, you are lazy. If you have a job, that is going to wear a suit and act like a boss every day, he can do it. But if he has to like start something and work really hard, he can't stand it.
Right.
Yeah, he can't stand it.
There's a lot of truth in that.
But someone will also be a worker because they had a vision, they want to do that, they're excited of a knowledge to implement into something, and then after that they just start a business. And this, because starting a business is never easy.
Right.
You have to be a worker. When you have when you start a business, it's not like a 9 to 5 job. You don't have time. Sometimes you have to wake up at midnight or at 2 a.m. to pick up a call because this guy is, I don't know, in China, in Europe, and the time different, and you have to keep going. You have to be on his time. You have to be on in a meeting at this time. So that's where you know if you are a worker or not.
Right.
But if you sit at the office 9 to 7, wear your suit. I'm a manager of this, I'm that.
You might be lazy.
Yeah. And lazy people do a good job too, because lazy people find a strategy of avoiding work.
That's true.
Which is very intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah, they find ways.
Yes,
to
that's
get
true.
things done without really putting in the work.
That is true. Yeah, there's so many books like that. The 4-hour work week,
Yeah.
There's a lot of books on people just trying to avoid work.
Yeah. But they still have to move to wash their dishes, their clothes. Like dishwasher, for example. I think it is the idea of some lazy person that didn't want to wash dishes. Are you agree with me?
So a lazy person didn't want to wash dishes, so they hired a dishwasher.
No, they invented.
Oh, they invented dishwasher. A machine.
They thought about it. Like, how can I get my dishes clean without have to wash it?
Also, it's more efficient because you can put them in the dishwasher.
No, it's efficient, but the idea comes from laziness.
Interesting.
I mean, he might be. I'm not saying it's the thing, but he
No,
might be
no,
coming
you
from
have a
laziness.
point. You have a point.
Like, I don't want to wash my clothes anymore. How can I? But I still need to wear a clean clothes.
Right.
How can I do to get my clothes clean without washing them? Wash machine.
That's true, right? Because
Exactly.
you only wear like one piece of clothes a day, and you only use one plate when you eat. How hard is it to wash that one plate?
Yeah.
It takes 30 seconds. You get some soap, you get a sponge, rinse it off, put it in the dryer, you're done.
Like I have a.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah,
I never thought of it that way.
I get in my house, and this is something that I still don't understand. Sometimes I'll leave plates around, and then if I have my housekeeping coming, they'll always take them and put in the dishwasher, and everything in the dishwasher. And I don't know what happened. If it's the dishwasher, something wrong with it. It never get things clean properly.
Well, you kind of have to clean them before you put them in the dishwasher, which is crazy. Because if you just cleaned them a little bit more, you wouldn't have to put them in the dishwasher. You probably save time.
Okay, personally, I never use a dishwasher. I
You
don't
just
know
wash
how it
by
works.
hand?
I don't know how it works. The easier thing for me is after using 1 or 2 plates, I wash it, I put it there.
Yeah.
It's easier. Or even if I stack like 3-4 plates after I come, take 5 minutes, clean it, put it there.
Yeah.
It's easier for me than running machine and this, which I don't even know how it works too much, and it's gonna sometimes it might be loud. I would just want to watch my TV, and that shit is running behind me.
True. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a lazy person's invention. A smart lazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lazy people are very creative. Very.
I never thought about it that way, but I think you're right. Yeah. But then there's some things like vacuum cleaner. You need that. How the fuck are you going to get anything out of a carpet without a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, you need that.
Yeah. There's some inventions that clean that make sense. But I think...
No. I mean, everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Even like wash machine makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, after training, you come, you put your clothes there. You train twice a day. You put your clothes. After 2 days, you press that button on the machine when you're leaving, because
Yeah.
start you're out.
Yeah.
Come back, it's done. You put it in the dryer again.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point, though, about inventions and also about how lazy people avoid work, and about a lot of educated people are just avoiding work by continuing their education. I know personally people that have done that. They get their PhD, they get grants, they get loans.
Oh no, you go in like a family house, and then there are like maybe 4 kids. There's dishes. They have to clean the house, and then someone have a homework. And even if he does have a homework, he's reading a book. He's in the middle of the book. So that means he's not cleaning anything because he's reading. You guys are not reading, you have to clean. So how easy is that?
Well, people love to put off things they're supposed to do. You know? It's an interesting thing, too, about fighters, because the difference between... There's like a lot of factors involved in being a fighter. There's the mentality. There's the ability to focus and to perform under pressure. It's very difficult to do. But there's also the ability to prepare properly. So, like, to have the discipline to do everything that you're supposed to do. And it's even more difficult sometimes for talented people.
Yeah, I think fighting is more about discipline, because not always talented people will make it. And you might have talent as much as you want. If you don't work, if you don't put some work in and then get discipline, you will not get there. You don't like if you look like the champions of every weight class, every promotion, most likely they are not the most talented guy, but they are very hard workers.
Yes.
And they have like something very special that that distinguish them.
Do you know the expression, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's true.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Because talent, one of the things that's unfortunate about talent is that when you're talented, you're better than everybody else in the gym. And so you can kind of get away without training as hard. Maybe you have physical gifts. Maybe you just have an understanding of fighting.
And then you take it for granted because you didn't have to work to get it.
Yes.
You don't even have the feeling that you need to work to work more to improve it, because he was just there.
Right.
So you don't even understand that they work for it.
Right.
You just happen to have it.
Yep.
And then they say you have to work for it. Come on, bro. For what?
Right.
I didn't do anything, but I still get it.
And if you can get away with it for a while, you develop habits of not training 100%. Not really putting 100% into it, but still being successful because you're talented. Yeah. But then you run into someone who's talented and has discipline. And that's when you get fucked up.
Okay, and that's the problem.
Right. When you get talent and discipline, you get a Michael Jordan.
And then
you get Mike Tyson. Mm-hmm. Talent and discipline, you get Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And then you also get like some people that are not talented, but they are just the best worker in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Your talent will have at some point. Talent will have a limit.
Yes.
Yeah, talent has a limit.
Especially if someone is willing to really outwork you, really outwork everyone.
Yeah, he has to, because like when you don't have talent, you basically start from nothing. Then you have 1, then you have 2, then you know that you have those 2 because you've been working. So you have to keep working, not only to maintain to keep the 2, but to get the 3 and the 4.
Yes.
And then you get into that process, and then you get to work.
Yes.
But when you get talent, you wake up someday, you have 5 out of 10 without working.
Yes.
You don't understand that you need to work to get the 6 and 7.
Right.
But the guy that only has like the 2, he already understood that. He already knew that he need to work to get those 2, to get the 3.
Yes.
So at some point, he's going to catch you at 5. And if you're not improving, he's going to keep going up.
He's going to get to 6 and 7. And you'll be like,
7,
this motherfucker was below me.
at
Yeah.
5 or barely go at 6, 7.
Yeah. And then there's guys that are really good in the gym. And then when they get to the bright lights, they can't perform,
Yeah.
which is the craziest thing. There's these superstars in the gym. And I remember from my kickboxing days, there was guys that were just so good in the gym. And then they would get into that ring and they would just, you could see it, they just diminished. Like they were 50% of themselves when they competed.
Why do you think that?
I don't know. Maybe so there's something about anxiety, their inability to manage stress. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is. I always feel like some people can overcome it and they don't. And some people do. Some people, they start off as great gym guys and then they perform badly, but then eventually they figure it out.
Yeah.
They just keep growing and learning.
But there are also a lot of people that go to the gym to become a world champion at the gym. You know, I have seen there's a lot of people that you get even in the gym, they are coming to try to figure out that guy is good, so I might have to check him out. You know, they have that mentality.
Right.
So in the gym, while you, maybe as a professional fighter, you're there to train, have
And
a good
learn.
training to learn,
Yes.
because you know that you only have one place that you want to show up. It's
In the fight. Right.
The 2 other months, you're in the gym, and sometimes if you have somebody in front of you that you feel like he's not catching up with your level, you give him an advantage. I'm like, okay, let me start on the back. Let's start on this position.
Right.
You give him an advantage so he can challenge you more.
Yes.
You know what you're doing. You know why you are doing that.
That takes a healthy control of your ego.
You see a guy that is a good wrestler, a good jiu-jitsu, but has very bad striking. You know that you always start on a stand-up. You always start up, and then he might not be able to take you down. I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's start on the ground. Step on me. Half guard. You know, full guard, stuff like that.
Right.
Because you know that you want to work that position.
Right.
You're taking advantage on him. But some people are there like to prove that, oh, I'm something.
They're competing instead of training.
Yes, they're competing.
Yeah.
And they don't usually gain more on that. And those people will get in the fight, and it's different.
Yeah, it's different. That is a very interesting thing, right? It's like some people understand it objectively. Like, I'm here to learn and grow, and I need to work on my weaknesses to make them my strengths. And some people want to avoid their weaknesses, so they only work on their strengths so they look good in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they care about how they look.
Yeah, I used to
Than
see that
how
a
they
lot
look.
with kickboxers that didn't want to do jiu-jitsu because they didn't like to get tapped. Because on the feet, they were a killer. And then they go to the ground, they're like a beginner. They don't like that. They don't like getting dominated on the ground. So they would just like skip jiu-jitsu classes, skip wrestling training. They didn't want to have anything to do with that.
I think it was also about like a generation that people around the gym wasn't understanding also. Like there's a gym, there are people that if you're training with them and something happened and you tap, they will be like, oh, you're a pussy.
Right.
You know? And I think those kind of people, they don't help their teammate to improve, you know?
No.
Instead of like, oh, no, you shouldn't do this, or you should do this instead to avoid that. Then I'm like, oh, no, bro, you don't tap. Like, yeah, you don't tap, then what? You go to sleep?
Or you break your arm.
Or you break your arm?
Yeah,
no,
if you don't tap in the
you're
gym,
training.
you're a moron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to not tap in the gym, and I've been stupid before. It's like a thing that people do where they think that they're
tough.
Yeah, and all you're doing is getting injured. And it's if you don't tap to an arm bar, you're going to fuck your elbow up, and then you might not be able to train right for months.
Yes.
Yeah, you
And then
have
what?
to. Yeah, you know, the Gracies have a great perspective on that. They always say keep it playful. They always say that when you're in the gym, you're just training and learning, and you got to keep it playful. Marcelo Garcia says that all the time, who's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu guys of all time. He says you have to open up your game in the gym. You can't be closed off and be too defensive. You have to open up your game and learn that what happens if you get stuck in bad positions.
Yes.
Yeah, learn when you get caught. If you get caught, you tap.
And even if you don't get caught sometime, get your position get yourself in a position to get caught.
Yes.
Or let somebody cut you and trying to defend.
Yes.
Understand like how to get out of there.
Yes.
You do that. That's why they call practice.
Do you think you'll ever compete in jiu-jitsu? You ever think that's something that's interesting to you?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I don't think so. I don't have any knees or ankles to give up.
That's a good point. Man, I watched a video
Bro,
this past weekend of a guy getting his leg broken.
If I was 25, yes.
I'm going to send you this, Jamie, because this is horrific.
If I was 25, I would take those chances, do all those stuff, fun. No,
Yeah.
Why? I don't have anything to give up.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna show you something, Jamie. This video scared the fucking shit out of me. This video is this guy gets caught in this heel hook. Hold on a second. Where is it? Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, Jamie. Yeah, I'm sending it to you, Jamie. This shit's horrible. This guy gets caught in an inside heel hook like 10 seconds into the match, and he doesn't tap, and his leg snaps in half.
Yeah.
Backstep
Watch this.
That's stupid.
Check this out. So this guy, they scramble.
by Austin. Oh! Oh! My goodness. Oh my goodness.
That sound.
Austin,
Play that again so I can hear that
Austin
sound.
holding out a very long time. Oh, my
That's in
goodness.
South
Good
Africa.
Backstep by Austin.
That's South African.
Oh!
Punch me in the face, bro.
Yeah, that leg might not ever be the same again.
No, punch me in the face. no, not the leg. Yourself. Like, do you imagine, like, just thinking of the day that your leg make this sound? Like,
Oh, god damn.
It snapped right here, right?
yeah.
Like right there?
Yes.
Like the spiral?
Yeah, spiral fracture of his shin. Horrible.
Yeah.
And the sound was like a baseball bat breaking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll never forget the sound when Chris Weidman kicked Uriah Hall and snapped his knee and snapped his shin in half. The sound was so horrible. And he's never been the same again. You know, it's like those breaks, like especially the shin break. You know, I wonder, like, if Conor McGregor is ever going to come back again. You know, it's like it's very difficult to come back from that break. That's one of the worst injuries.
And I think, like, for that kind of injury, the most difficult part is the mental part. You don't know if it's gonna be there again.
Right.
To try to get to, like, you know, like, obviously you have a rehab, right?
Right.
But you rehab the part that is injured.
Right.
But the rehab of your mind to be able to trust that again,
Right.
that's a problem. You know, I'm like, I don't know about that. Maybe we just skip this part.
Well, even when you're not injured, like your fight with Stipe, and then you fight Derek Lewis, in the back of your mind, you're still thinking about the Stipe fight,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm still fighting Stipe. I'm still like,
Yes.
what? Damn, why did I do this? No, I should be patient. I should this. You know, I'm there fighting Stipe. And then I get surprised when the fight was over. And then I'm like, okay, this is it. We still have one more round, right? Like, no, it's over. It's been three rounds.
Wow.
Because I was just being patient.
Yeah. Well, you came back from that, though.
Yeah.
How did you come back from that? How did you get your mind straight?
I mean, I think I get to the point that I just let it go, and I'm like, okay. Because I'm like, if this the end, at least let's finish how we started. At the beginning, it was all fun.
Right,
Like
right,
having
right.
fun. Feel like at some point along the way, I lost that fun. I don't know when, but I lost that fun. And it's about like, oh, winning, you have to win, you shouldn't lose, this, blah, 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 blah.
So did you make a decision in your mind to go back to having fun again?
Yeah. He was just like, have fun, and then whatever happens. Don't care. And if this is it, if you lose again, and then maybe you have to get caught or whatever, at least enjoy it.
So is
And
this
then I get in China, have to fight Curtis Blade. 45 seconds, it was over. I'm like,
Yeah.
not bad, having fun.
fun for you?
Yes, I had the performance of the night, then keep going.
So, did you ever work with a psychologist or a performance coach, or did this all just you figure it out yourself?
I try, but I think I have a personal blockage. I don't believe in that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I talk to myself a lot. I spend time with myself. I mean, most of the time I'm by myself. I'm a lonely person. So I spend time with myself and I talk to myself a lot. I figure out, I analyze. And this was just me growing up, didn't have friends, didn't have people to hang out with. I wasn't welcome among kids. So I created my own world in my mind, that my own friends and everything in my mind. So just used to hang out with myself. So I get used to, and just like that.
Well, that's so much better for a person in your position in life than to have an entourage. So I know a lot of guys, when they get very successful, they have an entourage. So they're surrounded by yes men all the time. And that is one of the worst things that happens to a successful person.
But for them, for some people, it's cool. Even now, I think no later than last week, I was in the restaurant and I walked there by myself, take a table, sit down.
Do people look over there like, is that fucking Francis Ngannou?
Yeah, order my food and eat.
Do people freak out? Like, is that Francis
Some
Ngannou
people
sitting by himself?
recognize you. I'm like, yeah, are you expecting somebody? And most of the time, the answer is yes. Basically, leave me alone.
Right. So you generally like being by yourself?
Yeah, I like to. I do that a lot. And people, I'm like, are you live here by yourself? Are you by yourself? I'm like, what's the problem by being by yourself? It's being independent.
Yeah.
I'm free. I don't need anybody to decide on my happiness or me having fun or whatever, Sometimes I will spend 2 days in my house without going out.
Yeah.
And I'm good with it. And I can go out. I can do whatever I want, but I just want to be there.
I did that recently. My family was out of town, and I was home by myself for 3 days. It was glorious.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It gives you time to think about things.
I do that a lot. But recently, I've been changing a little bit because staying home a lot will make me think and will make me sad. Since I lost my kid, my boy, then he will make me think and make me sad. And if I stay there, I will keep having those thoughts, those sadness around. It's like the energy around me is just sad.
I understand. Yeah.
So then what I do is when I start to feel something like that, I just have to force myself, get out, grab the car key, get the hell out of here.
Right.
I'm running away from something. Then by the time you even find the car key, you find your shoes, you do this, your mind is already thinking of something. But if you just
instead of sorrow, sorrow.
Yeah, if you just sit in your couch, then it's keep going, then it's sad, then you pace, then you're hate life, everything.
Your son was 15 months old?
15 months old.
What happened?
Bro, I think he has some malformation on his brain, which is something that we didn't know. He fainted. He passed out twice. The first time was in Cameroon. We took him to the hospital. They didn't find anything. The second time was in Saudi. We took him to the hospital. They ran a lot of exams. They didn't do anything. They did the EEG. Didn't do the scan or the MRI, because I think, according to them, their conclusion was that he has a swollen lung, and that was what was pressing his chest and stopping him from breathing and create that faint. So after all those exams, they give him some medicine that he's going to be okay. Nothing to worry about. Because at first, they haven't thought about like asthma. They give like a ventilator, and then that after some result, they took it out, and then, it put me in confidence. Even though, like, I don't know, sometimes I think somewhere in my mind, I have to think that, yes, but he didn't show any stress respiratory. If he was something from his lung, but I'm like, bro, those was professional doctor and this, and then I trust that.
Yeah.
So I basically like put my guard down. And I remember just getting in Dubai, and that day I was thinking like, oh, life is, meanwhile, I'm not doing bad. Life is good. I went to the gym, like, maybe I should go to club tonight. And I don't go to club, I don't go out. Like, man, come on, which kind of guy are you? I went to the gym to work out. I'm in the bike cycling. Then I tried to call. I wanted to talk to him when I was on the phone, on the bike. Then I called his mom. His mom didn't pick up the phone. Then I'm like, after I'm done, I'm going to go take my shower, lay in the bed, and call him. And 30 minutes after, I was on the leg machine. My phone rang. It was my little brother. Say, bro, things are not going well here. I'm like, what? He said, Kobe passed out. He's not breathing. We are at the hospital. They kicked me out from the room. And I'm like, what happened? And then as we are talking, he's also trying to get information. So I lost him for like 3-4 minutes. Then after, I call again, and then I'm talking to him while he's talking to the nurse. And the nurse was like, who are you? Are you his dad? He said, no. Then who are you? I'm his uncle. Where is dad? His dad is not here. Where? He's gone. Just like that. He's gone. What do you mean he's gone? How come he's gone? This kid was 15 months. He was bigger than 15 months. He was growing. He was the most joyful, happy kids around. Hey, what do you mean he's gone? Gone where? Bro, that was it.
Wow.
I thought I was dreaming. I thought they're going to say something. No, that's not true. Then I keep calling again. And everybody is confirmed. I call my mom. My mom is just on tear. Like, bro, what the fuck is this? And that was it.
Wow.
And I never realized I have been in the situation that I have seen people losing their kids, mourning, maybe definitely older kids. But I'm like, man, this must be hard, even though I can feel it. At that moment, I mean, you don't know like what could be your reaction. You don't know. I have been in the situation that I'm like, bro, I don't cry, I never cry. I mean, not like I never cry, but it don't just happen. I don't know why. No. Maybe because you don't have a reason. When you feel like something really hurt inside you, like you can't breathe, it's hurting. That was it. And
when did this happen?
April 27th?
So this before the Joshua fight?
No, after.
After the Joshua fight?
Yeah, April 27th. Almost 2 months after. That was it. And then all of a sudden, you realize how a kid that wasn't there 2 years ago have become a major part of your life, or if it's not your life, then you realize that all the thing that you were worrying about didn't mean shit at all. Nothing mean, like, nothing. It was the only thing at time that really mattered.
Yeah.
But it's not there anymore. But, you know, one thing is that, you know, my dad passed away. I was 15, and he got sick. Just stay at home for like months, and couldn't even go to the hospital. And get to the point that he couldn't even go to the bathroom on his own. Nothing. But I was 15. I was still at school. But you know, I always tell myself, like, I was a kid. What could I have done? And then after a couple years, I left school, and then I started thinking. I'm like, okay, I had an excuse when my dad passed away. I think I'm becoming an adult, and I still powerless. I still can't do anything if something like that happened. What happened if my mom gets sick? Like, what happened if I have my own kids, like, some days, and they need me, or I will provide for them, like, or protect them? And those was one of the thought that I always have, like, pushing me living. Like, no, I need to do something. I need to take action. Then, after years, you get to the point that you feel like you have it figured out. Like, okay, I can afford a health care for my family. I can take care if somebody needs to go to the hospital or whatever it is. I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it, you know. Then, all of a sudden, your own kids, which is the one that rely on you, only you, you couldn't even do anything for him. You did, like, by the time you get to the hospital, he was gone. You couldn't fight for him. I'm like, bro, let me fight. Let me say I have tried. Let me say I did something. Let's make all this worth. What's the point if after all this, I get to the point that I'm still this powerless in front of a real situation? And that's hurt.
God.
That's hurt a lot.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I can't
you.
imagine. I can't imagine. And it's also the pain of knowing there's nothing you could have done.
Yeah.
It's just a medical thing that he was born with.
Yeah, he was born with, because when it happens, everybody was confused. Nobody knows. So, get home, then what should we do? Let's do an autopsy. That one was tough, because you think that they say, you know, what, that they're going to tear him, cut his head. Like, I mean, a kid that yesterday you were excited to talk to him, now they are talking about, like, cut him this way. Like, how come that is like, But, you know, it's at least good to know what happened. Maybe that might save somebody in the future, because it's still a mystery there. So say, let's do the autopsy. That's when they find all this out. Yeah. The last time I saw him was me leaving Cameroon, going to the elevator, and he was he was with my little brother, and he didn't want me to go because he became my body so much that he didn't. When I'm around, he don't want me to leave him alone. I can take him wherever I go. He might not don't eat. He doesn't care as long as he's with me. Like, that was it. He was my mate. Like 15 months. He's barely walking, but you know, when I walked in, you know that I walked in. They don't have to ask like who walked in. They know that it's his dad. You know, he reaction, or then you start to think about all those little things, all those little things that you guys have, just you and him, then it's over. Then it's over. When the day that I was leaving, he was crying, like wanted me to go with him. But I kept going. I knew that I'm going to be back. I have no clue that was it. Wow. I always say I should have go back one more time. Spend one more day. I don't know. How came one more time?
Man.
Yeah. That was it. And then you get back in the apartment and see all his toys, the stuff that he was playing, the thing that you take from him the other day and put here is right there, but he's not there anymore and will never be there anymore. Yeah. Kobe was his name. I named him after Kobe Bryant because I had a great memory of Kobe Bryant. The day that the UFC was announcing the partnership with Buddy Amore was in New York. I just arrived in the US at time. My English was so bad. I'm in New York. We have to meet in this room, this event, to make the announcement. And I'm there a little early. Then Kobe came a little early too. Meet me in the waiting room. Just Kobe and I there for like 30 minutes. My English is very bad. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to speak. And then he keep talking, asking questions, talk about my story, ask me where I came from and how do I get. I know, like, wow, this is impressive. I'm like, this is Kobe, right? I don't want to bother him, but he's questioning me, really excited about it, get me to talk. Then I feel bad. I'm like, oh no, your English is really good. I understand what you're saying. And then how about this, that? Like for 30 minutes. Until then, Dana White was the next guy that walked in the room. And he said, wow, do you know this guy's story? Do you know his story? He did this, he did that. And I said, yes, I know. Like, wow, this is crazy. Wow. It's crazy how we in America, we don't know what's going on around the world. And Kobe was there talking like that. I'm like, this is Kobe Bryant. You know, so that was like my moment with Kobe.
Wow.
So when he passed out, when he died, I was in LA when I heard about the news, and it hit me really bad. And I decided I'm gonna make Kobe, gonna have a Kobe. So that's it. Then the day that he passed away, just the day before, they were just making a little basketball court that I have for him, his playground for him, you know, because I was so await for him to start to be strong on his feet so we can go work, we can do this, we can play soccer. I've been looking for soccer cleat for him, this, that, you know, you have all the project. I have thought of like, which school should he go? Like, think, oh, what should I do? You know, you never know. Maybe something happened to me. I should set up something to keep him safe. You know, you think like that. But no, it never crossed your mind that he would be the one living first. From the moment that he was born, not like when he was born, when he started to react, and you really see like a living person, you really start to plan out like how to protect him, how to build a security around him. You know, he wasn't just a kid, he was a project. He became a huge project. Everything that you think of that's good, that you want, oh, it's for Kobe, it's for him. All of a sudden, then he's gone. Yeah.
You've been through a lot in your life, Francis.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot.
Well, a lot of people been through it. You didn't just know.
Yeah.
Then after that, you look people that been through, that lost a kid. You respect them more. You give them some more respect. Like my older brother lost 2 kids. And I feel so bad not really being there for him because I didn't understand. I know that he lost kids, but I didn't know what exactly that means.
Right.
Now that I understand, I'm like, man, I should have been there more. You know, I feel bad that I didn't connect to his suffering, to his pain. And you respect him more for being through that, to overcome that twice. Then you think like, you start to think like, no. In fact, I think I'm not the toughest one though. I'm being put in test and realize that I'm not as tough as I think. Yeah.
There's nothing anybody could say. That's the craziest thing. There's no comfort that anybody can give you.
If they ask you what do you want or what can comfort you, you don't know.
There's nothing.
It's nothing.
There's nothing can happen.
It's really about like facing it daily. You know, take it one at a time.
Do you have other children?
Yeah, I have another girl. But when it happened like that, you feel like, I don't know, even though in your mind, you think like you still have a lot going on, a lot of things to be grateful about, but in your heart, you feel like you're broke, you have nothing. Yeah. Nothing is worth it. I mean, I always love life and know that I have everything of society, but at least for once, I'm like, at least whenever I die, I'm gonna go see my kid. I'm gonna see him. Wow. I'm not afraid of it. I still want to live, but at least whenever, you get to that point to think like that. So somewhere you're looking forward for whenever that happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry for your loss, man. I really am. I wish I could say something, but there's nothing to say.
There's nothing to say, Joe. Thank you, though.
Thank you, and
thank you
for being here, man. Thank you for everything. You're an inspirational man. You really are.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you being here, and the best of luck to you in everything in life.
We will see. That's why, I really want to come back and do something, because I really think, maybe I get to the point that I'm like, why do I fight for? I don't even have to, I don't want, but, bro, that boy, for only 15 months, I think he taught me something, he was active, full of life, and I think if there's one thing that he would have been doing, he would have been doing something, not staying there, not being a reason of giving up or whatever. And I think that's the only way to honor him, his memory, keep him alive, get a purpose, make him a motivation. Yeah, I think so. We will see. we'll see how it plays out. But
Yeah. Well, again, thank you, Francis. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate you.
thank you, Joe.
All right. Bye, everybody.